Yeah, okay. Who can remember when we were in primary school, we were taught a concept called BODMAS in mathematics or in arithmetics. Now we're told that BODMAS can be used to solve simple problems, simple mathematical problems. Well, I'm not a messiah. I'm not a genius. I'm just someone who knows how to learn things and not forget them. I try to connect phenomenon to phenomenon. Yes. Well, that's my gift. We were told that BODMAS could solve simple problems. Now let's fast forward to my university days. I studied sociology in Uniben. And while we were in school, we had an exam. We had a worry crisis. And we were asked in an exam to suggest ways how we can solve the worry crisis. The keyword was suggest. Now, I was scored 0% for this exam, by the way. Now, the worry crisis was about land disputes, Ijos versus Ishekiris versus Urobos and all that. So they had, they were bombing each other and all that. So through the exam, we're asked to suggest ways to stop the crisis. My answer was simple. I said BODMAS could solve the problem. Now let's remember that sociology is a scientific study of man and his environment. Scientific study, meaning you can use scientific methods, formulas, while doing your research, while making your conclusions, and yeah. So my answer was basically BODMAS. My answer had to be scientific to me. And maths is part of science. So I said BODMAS. I said the worry crisis could be solved with BODMAS. Yes, I said it. Although I went further to explain how I could do that, or how we could do that. Yes, let's try and remember what BODMAS actually means. It means brackets. Yeah. Yeah, bracket like that. O stands for order, of. Yes, order. Order means power, raised to the power, indices, roots. Yeah, roots. Yeah, roots. Yeah. Okay. Then D stands for division. M stands for multiplication. A stands for addition. S stands for subtraction. Let's not forget what all these things mean so that you can understand where I'm going to. In every society, we have problems. So you can have a problem. You can have a mathematical problem, for example, like 2 divided by 1 multiplied by 3 plus 4. According to BODMAS, there's no bracket, so you have to bracket. You can bracket 2 divided by 1. Yeah, I think so, yeah. So we want to solve that first. You bracket that. By the time you solve that, 2 divided by 1, which is 1, multiplied by 3. 1, 3, plus 4. 7, yes. Yeah. You don't start solving from anywhere you like. You have to follow the order. Bracket, of, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So you must follow that order. Now looking at this concept, this arrangement, this operation, mode of operation, society, it means that if we want to solve a simple problem in society, you must look for the brackets in society. And what are the brackets? No matter the problem you have in society, you always have brackets. If you don't have brackets, create brackets. Let's look at Nigeria as a problem. I want to solve the problem of Nigeria. We have light issues, we have infrastructure problem, we have roads problem, we have insecurity, we have educational problems, we have so many problems. Before I go to the worry, but let's look at Nigeria first. What do we do? Look at the existing bracket. What are the existing brackets? The existing brackets include 1, the family unit. 2, communities. 3, local government areas. 4, states. Then, of course, we have the country Nigeria, which is a bracket in the larger society and larger problem of the world. So what do we do now? Solve the problem of the family unit first, which is the inner bracket. Solve the problem of the community. Solve the problem of local government. Solve the problem of the states before you think of the country. If you solve these brackets in this order, you have gone a milestone in solving the problems of a country. Then after solving the bracket, you now move to the O. What's the meaning of the O? We said it before. Order of roots, indices. These words that you hear in mathematics, they are derived from the same source. They mean the same thing. If the meaning actually mean the same thing. Trust me on that. What is a root? A root is a source of something. When they say, when you have a problem, you bracket the root. Bracket all the roots. Solve the roots. Solve the roots outside the bracket, or bracket the root and solve it. What is power? When they say raised to the power 2, they are telling you that that's your problem in the bracket is raised to the power 2, which is more than what you are seeing. So you bracket it also. You solve it. Indices. What's the meaning of indices? Signs of something. Solve it. It's a sign. Solve it. How do you solve such a problem? Tackle it at the root. Any problem you have, tackle it at the root. Let's be spiritual about it. Let's assume the problem now, or the problem of that community, of that family unit, principalities and powers disturbing them. You will say tackle it at the root. Tackle that principality and power at the root. You go spiritual also and tackle it. Yes. Then let's move to M. No, sorry. No, not M. D. Yes, let's go to D. Let's go to D. D means division. How do you solve division? Division means something that causes division between people. Tackle it. Is it land dispute? Tackle it. Is it equity and fairness? Tackle it. Is it zoning? Tackle it. Is it imbalance in sharing of projects or resources? Tackle it. Is it marginalization? Tackle it. Yeah, that's even simple. Because you don't tackle that division. No matter what you do in front, multiply and add. No matter how you multiply and add, this division will keep becoming a problem. To be a general problem. So you must tackle it. After, when you have tackled the division, you got to multiply. What can you multiply? Can you multiply something that does not exist? No, you cannot. Because 0 multiplied by 0 is 0. So it will not exist. So you can only multiply what exists. What are the things that exist that you can multiply? Let's name them. Population, people. You can multiply people, you can multiply population. If you feel that you need more people, the labor market is not enough, the workforce is not enough, encourage people to give birth. Encourage the family to multiply. Or in some modern countries, developed countries, yes, they increase the population by inviting people coming to the country to get citizenship so they can increase their population. They do visa sponsorship. They do green card lottery because they need more workforce. There's some countries where the people can't work because they're too rich, but they have problem of workforce, so they allow you coming to work for them. That's increased. That's multiplying. Yes, that's how to multiply. There's nothing you multiply that already exists naturally by God that will give you problem. If there's food shortage, you multiply it. Or by agriculture, multiply it. God has given you the plants and animals. God created them. You can multiply them to suit your population. That is how you solve the problem of food shortage. What else can we multiply? Let's look at it. Things that already exist. Knowledge exists. So, what do you do with knowledge? You multiply it. Multiply the knowledge. Increase the knowledge. So that everybody will have the knowledge that you have. But so share the knowledge you have. That's how you multiply knowledge. By the time you share knowledge you have been given, like God has given you, ignorant people will not be fighting over things that they ought not to be fighting over. The things that you cannot fight for, they will not fight for because you've already shared that knowledge. So multiply knowledge. That is part of multiplication. That's the M in BODMAS. Then what is addition? A for addition. A simply means it's like multiplication, but it's different because addition comes in small bits because lack of originality. God can multiply. We can multiply things that God have created, but things that are man-made, you add. Things like what? Infrastructure. Roads, housing. Yes, roads, bridges, and all those things that are man-made. You add them. By the time you add this in society, you are solving some problems. Then, finally, we have S, which is subtraction. What do you subtract in society? Insecurity, crime, fraud, corruption, etc. So, BODMAS can be used, can actually solve simple problems. Now, in the case of world crisis, what did I suggest? My suggestion was very simple. I said, let's use BODMAS. Let the political leaders and the traditional leaders gather their children and volunteer them. Let's bracket them. Let's bracket them. Including me, as at that time. Meaning that a Shekiri leader, particular, will bring his son, and the Joe leader will bring daughter, like will bracket them. Yoruba will bracket. Government will sponsor their weddings. Government sponsored marriages. Yes, Nigerians already used to arranging marriages. So if Nigerians can do arranging marriages, it clean without problem. It means that there are people that are willing to come out and do arranging marriages sponsored by government. Government will now empower them to continue their life from there. Because those sponsored marriages will have peace, reduce the ethnic crisis in those areas. Because they now know that they are bound by marriage. But if you allow what we're trying to say here is to bracket the multiplication. When you marry like that, they're going to multiply also. So you are bracketing the multiplication. Controlled growth. You are now saying, okay, let's have mixed ethnicity in those areas. They will have children that are half Ishekiri, half Ijo. Yes. From different tribes. In a situation where you have this, the child that is mixed cannot fight himself, say because